Today is 21 days before the Philippine elections. Have you been victimized by fake news? Have you ever posted or forwarded news that you weren't really sure if it were true or not? I invited award-winning journalist and UNHCR Goodwill Ambassador Araullo to talk about misinformation, disinformation, and lessons from activism in this episode of Paano Ba To? Welcome back to Paano Ba To, Araullo.
Hello, Bianca. Missed you.
I
Kumusta ka na?
know! Super missed you and I'm happy you said yes to this, at least over
Naman.
this and outside work. We'll get to catch up. So your work environment has been pretty crazy recently with everything happening, would you say?
For sure, the media landscape has been kind of crazy. Marami akong mga worries, but hindi naman ako nawawala ng pag-asa. Let's just put it that way.
I did want to share with you a letter of a letter sender that I feel is a struggle of a lot of us now. Okay, so this letter is from Miss Triggered. She's 29 years old from Baguio. Sabi niya, hello po. I know we all have our bets, but how can I not engage in debates or social media wars if I can see that people are misinformed? And minsan talagang ang sarap nilang sagutin because they're unreasonable. Nakaka-stress ang elections, pero minsan nakaka-stress din na hindi makialam, lalo na if you're politically aware. Sometimes, but as a family dinner, may tension because of political discussions. Nakaka-trigger, nakakaloka, hell.
My goodness. I don't know the answer. No, I mean, mahirap. Mahirap kasi kahit ako, nagsistruggle ako dyan eh. I think to an extent, I have the advantage of this acceptance that in my line of work, it comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even before this massive infodemic, it's called an infodemic kasi it's like an overabundance of information, both accurate and false, but that is the problem. There's so much information and there is deliberate disinformation that the intent is not just to convince people of a lie, but also to poison the well of truth. So parang it works both ways. So even if hindi ka sa, say, isang piece of disinformation or propaganda, when it's said again and again through different channels, and when these bad actors, these malign actors, discredit legitimate sources of information, you're left with the feeling that you really can't trust anyone. Under those circumstances, parang nagkakaroon talaga ng breakdown ng democracy. I would even say society, kasi we depend on shared truths for this society to function. Otherwise, how can we make decisions as a nation when we can't agree on what is right and wrong, when we can't agree on what happened in the past? Diba? Now, going back to the question of your letter sender, in the past, I feel like I took it for granted. Like many of us, the truth shall set us free. If I present a fact to this person because it's an established fact, that's the end of the discussion, diba? Tapos na. We can move on to the next question. But nowadays, that's not the case. And it makes it all the more difficult to engage. Kasi before, when the few times that I engage, I do so in good faith, within the limitations of social media, Twitter, 140 characters, Facebook, a little bit longer, but whatever. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo nag-usap face-to-face. So meron talagang limitations yun. Sometimes when I have time or I'm in the mood, I do engage and try to explain in a calm manner and never in a condescending tone what I know based on the facts that I gathered personally from reputable sources. Pero ngayon, ang hirap na rin mag-engage kasi talagang kapag ang kausap mo ay wala naman talagang intention na umabot sa isang katotohanan, mauubos na talaga oras mo tsaka mapapagod ka lang talaga.
Yeah.
And it will ruin your day. I have to acknowledge that. May mga times na mananansya ka na, sino ba tong tao na to? Para interesado pa talaga siyang makipagdiskusyon. Kasi pag hindi, talo rin ako kasi ang intent naman niya is ano ka lang
mabad trip ka, matrigger ka.
Exactly. Tapos kasalanan mo pa yon if you answer out of turn, right? So with people that are close to us, friends, family, it's an easier task kasi we are coming from a place of either love, compassion, or genuine care. And you can do this in person. And you have stock, you have history that you can bank on so that it can buy you good faith, right? Parang alam mong, minsan kahit na nagkapikunan na kayo, alam nyo na hanggang dun lang yun. It's possible to salvage the relationship. And usually we're more patient with people that we know. But people that we don't know, it's really tough for me. I can't really answer that directly kasi there are two schools of thought eh. I used to be from the perspective na, sige, sagutin natin yan, engage tayo. Kasi responsibilidad natin yan eh, lalo na sa panahon ng disinformation. I think media people have a real responsibility to fight disinformation. But halimbawa, malinaw naman na kinukuyog ka na or hindi naman sincere yung mga kausap mo, ba't ka mag-engage, di ba? Hindi ano ka lang, napagod ka lang. Pero the other extreme of that naman, which I don't feel is also correct, is just to ignore them and block them altogether. Kasi who else is going to engage? Again, the strategy is twofold. Eh. One is to shut down and to discredit media organizations or legitimate sources of information. Let's not forget, the other side of that is they will have a free reign over social media kung walang mga nagpo-push back. I would say, nag-apply pa rin naman yung mga old rules like be respectful.
Old rules. You're talking about us like we're the past.
I know.
But I get exactly what you mean.
Diba? Okay. Try as much as you can na maging level-headed. Don't resort to name-calling. Kasi may collateral damage eh. Minsan, iisip mo na, hindi, troll lang to. Pwede ako makipagbardagulan dito. Pero minsan hindi eh. Minsan may mga real people behind those accounts eh. That even if they're behaving badly, number one, they're voters. Number two, without their help, we can't stamp out disinformation. It's important to keep engaging on social media, and I think the way we can amplify that is through collaboration. Parang magtulungan tayo, magkaroon ng, for example, sa media, nagkaroon ng fact-check network na nagtutulungan yung iba't ibang media organizations para lang magkaroon ng united front. On an individual level, do what you can. You know, like you're not required to engage every single person for your sanity, for your mental health. But when you have a feeling that, you know, I can talk to this person and meron ka may share, then do that. Ako, ganun din ang ginagawa ko. Hopefully, all of those little efforts accumulate or add up.
Yeah, very, very good and sound advice. I guess I just wanted to end with this personal question naman. Because of course, you grew up with activists as parents. You also fought for your own different causes in the different stages of your life growing up. And that kind of work entails parang convincing someone of what you're fighting for, right? Is that correct to say? Sorry.
Yeah.
Or convincing someone of why this issue is important. So I guess the question is, based on your life experience as a person, nagkataon na lang na naging journalist ka, how do you convince someone about an important issue to you?
Well, actually, that's a great question kasi it forces me to reflect as well. You're right eh. Parang the same rules apply naman eh. It's still about winning hearts and minds, diba? The social media landscape makes it all the more difficult. Again, because disinformation is so effective eh. It appeals to our basest instincts eh, which is to form tribes, to validate my own beliefs, and to, you know, act out in an emotional manner. And I think that what makes us human is the fact that we should control those emotions. We should take a step back and look at the big picture. Because otherwise, we're no better than animals, diba? Parang just acting out on instinct and forming our little silos, forming our little tribes. When I was younger, I think what I should remind myself is, number one, infinite patience. Kasi kahit naman nung estudyante ako, wala naman akong illusion na yung naabot natin na democracy, yung naabot natin na freedoms ay madaling nakuha eh. Talagang pinaglaban yan eh. Dugot pawis. Tsaka literally people died for us to have the freedoms that we have at the moment. Yung mga bagay that we take for granted, voting, 8-hour work schedules, 13th month pay, and so on and so forth. Alam mo na it all starts a spark in the darkness. And even if you're surrounded by darkness, there's really no reason to despair. Kasi when you're on the side of truth, I hesitate to say it, no? Pero parang it's inevitable that even if the battle is long, you're going to win that battle. Even if there are ups and downs, you're going to win that battle. It's not the first time that we've been plunged into this kind of situation. Now that it's happening, bigla ako napaisip sa mga panahong, kumbaga, yung information ay hindi madaling makuha or wala pang science guiding the way. Nung panahon ng tinatawag na Dark Ages, yung mga tao, basically, kanya-kanya rin yan eh. Through the effort of people like us, na hindi nawawalan ng pag-asa at infinitely patient and also humble. na it might also be our own weaknesses that brought us to this position in the first place. Sometimes you don't win a certain battle, but the war is long. So sabi nga nila, try again, fail better. Diba? Even if there are heartaches, and I think there will be a lot still before we finally win or finally stamp out this information. Eventually, we'll get there, I think. Basta tuloy-tuloy lang din yung efforts ng mga tao.
Thank you for giving much needed hope and that spark in very, very dark times. Because you're
Did
right.
I really?
Yes, you did. Because I feel like it's so easy to feel despair. And yun talaga yung word, di ba? Despair. Like, paano? Like, paano talaga, di ba?
Paano ba to? Correct.
But
I have to admit, Bianx, na sometimes I don't feel that way. Parang feeling ko nga minsan I might come off as kind of negative. I don't know if I'm going to sound optimistic, but I try to be optimistic kasi parang what's the other option? Parang wala namang ibang option eh.
Yeah, and for sure there are days that we feel less optimistic, but 'di ba nga sa ang simple-simple ng visual na usually sa binyag or like sa house blessing sa Pasko na yung isang kandila, yun lang yung ilalight eh. Tapos pasa-pasa sa lahat ng taong may kandila and the light slowly becomes brighter and 'di ba? You can't let go of that hope kasi what's gonna be left of us if we let go of hoping for that. So we all have a role to play, even if Atom is the journalist. We all play a bigger part in this fight against disinformation. Thanks, Atom. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh
You're
no.
the best.
Yeah, ikaw ang idol ko, sabi ko nga sa'yo.
Grabe naman. Idol, Atom. Thank you.
Thank you, Bianx.
You can listen to the longer conversation with Atom on Paano Ba To the podcast exclusively on Spotify. And be part of the solution. Help report disinformation. For YouTube videos, you can click the flag button and report video. On Facebook, click the ellipses on the post and report post. And on Twitter, click the ellipses on the post and report the issue. You can watch Atom on State of the Nation weeknights at 10:30 p.m. on GTV or follow him on social media. Till our next episode, supers!